welcome back everybody, and if you're new here, I'm Kathy Arbor, and today is Watercolor Tuesday, the first watercolor of 2022. So I just thought I would show you the book after it was all dry. This is what we did on the New Year's Eve stream, is we made this cover, and these are actually dried flowers that we put on it. Hey Joan, good to see you. So as you can see, it dries fairly transparent, and it gives you with putting that leftover tissue from the napkins, makes the flowers secure, so they're not gonna flake off or rub off. And that's the back. And if you remember, they look kind of cloudy when we put it down. It was more like this. See this here? There's not enough paste underneath, so it went kind of white. But if you put enough gel medium or matte medium fluid, I use the fluid, then it'll do really well. Hey Dorothy. Yes, Happy New Year to you. So I put it onto my spine, and this was a canvas. I'll show you, so that it's glued onto the cover of this. And I'm going to put paper over top of this to cover that. So I'll do that probably, maybe this Thursday we'll do that. Finish this up. Yeah, they turned out really nice, and it's a great way of making a cover. So if you have, this is just cardboard or chipboard, if you have chipboard covered with a loose canvas. But if you have a canvas board, you could use that if it's the right size. Just get 2 of them, and that would work too. Hi Cindy, Brenda, good to see you. So I really enjoyed it. Now you could put more on this if you wanted to too. You could get the paint out, get some inks out, and put some more color on there, some stencils if you wanted a little bit more. You could write on it and then seal the whole thing again. Now if you want to see the flip through of last year's file folder project, it's up on the Ustream, no, not Ustream, what am I thinking? It's up on YouTube, last Friday's YouTube, and I'll link it down below once this stream is done. Now someone was actually wanting me to do a stream of how I actually did the binding on that. I do have half of last year's, not last year, the year before, folders to do yet. So maybe I'll get that out. We'll see, maybe next week, and I'll show you that. It's a little, or I might start it and show you just half of it, but it'll give you the basics of how to do it. I'm not going to do it from start to finish because it'd take too long. It's very fiddly, so I will show you maybe this Thursday. Maybe I'll do that because I have to finish the other one anyways, if you're interested in that. And that was a pamphlet stitch that I put on here. So we are finished this sketchbook, and if you want to see the flip through, it's again on last Friday's stream-a-thon that we did for New Year's. And I'm going to start a new sketchbook, and these sketchbooks I just bought. And this is the make of this sketchbook, and it's from Amazon. I got it on Amazon, and last Tuesday I showed this, and I put the link in the description, and it's an Amazon in the US, so you can check that out if you're interested. We did a comparison of how the paper would be, and I had two different books, and this one didn't have the name on it, but I did find it in the Amazon, and it's linked in last Tuesday's stream. So what I did was I wanted to see if any of the ink or the watercolor would seep through the pages, and it didn't. And this one was done in the back also, and it actually let the watercolor move, whereas the old, this one, once you put the watercolor down, it's there and you couldn't move it, and it wouldn't move with water. It just soaked it right in. So I'm really excited to use this because it does move. See, there's little dabs where it moved, and I was able to blend it, and it didn't show through. Now there's a little bit of ghosting, very, very small amount though, and that was with one of the pens that I was using. And these all lay flat, which I like. I want a paper that lies flat. So that's the main reason why I bought this one. Don't drink. Oh yes, it's Joan's birthday. Happy birthday, Joan. Hope you're having a fantastic day. You must be getting ready to go out, maybe, or are you just having a nice night in? I'll bring you guys in. What I'm going to do today is I want to do every month illuminated letter for the month. So J for January, and I've got a traceable printable for you if you want to use this, and it's in the members community page, or if you're a member on Patreon, then it's up there already for you to use too. And it's a downloadable link, so you can size it whatever size you want. And this is Hellebore, and the reason why I chose Hellebore is because it's one of the first flowers you usually see, along with snowdrops, but you usually see the Hellebores in December, mostly like in a little bit warmer tempered zone like the UK. Here in the north, Ontario, you might see them the end of February, but not in December or January. So we're going to make this, and what I'm thinking is putting in some actual gold watercolor paint, or we'll see. I've got a few different ones. I have these. And I also have a bronze color too. And this is Schminky, and it's actual pigment, but you have to add it to a a medium, Gamsol, not Gamsol, doesn't say here. Mixed with a little, oh, it says mixed with water. It's already got a glue binder in it, so you can just mix this with a little bit of water, and it's fairly bright. It's more of a, I wouldn't say that's bronze. It kind of looks gold to me, but we'll see what we can do. That might be a little bit more opaque. We'll see. So we'll play with that. Paper white narcissus. Oh, do you really? Nice, Dot. You're so lucky. Well, you've had a really, really mild weather right now, haven't you? I think I remember either it was you or Joan mentioning that the weather was very warm for this time of year, or was I mistaken? Our weather here has been fairly mild too. We have gotten some. Today's pretty cold. Yesterday and on the weekend was cold, but yeah, we've had a fairly mild winter so far. So I've already, as you can see, traced this out because I didn't want to bore you guys. So you can trace yours out. I'm just going to spray my palette. I think I'll clean my top part off. And get a fresh area. That soak a bit. So what I'm thinking is a lot of the hellebores around here, and now you can get hellebores, or sometimes they call them Christmas rose. They come in many colors nowadays. There's white ones, there's yellow, kind of green, pink, red. There's mixtures of greens and pinks and double flowered ones. This is a single that I'm doing. Now I don't myself have hellebores in my garden, but my son does. It was funny, he just moved to his new plot of land, and I guess the past owners had put hellebores in, but he had never seen them. And I remember last year he says, "What are these? They're flowering. Should they be flowering?" And the color of them is more of a deep burgundy. Now you can also get ones that are almost black color. They're so dark. Oh, wow. So all your stuff is coming up. It is near freezing here, Dorothy. So you're kind of have wonky weather too. Warmest winter in 200 years. Wow. Well, I hope you guys don't get a real hard freeze and have your trees get damaged. That's the only thing with that. So these are hellebores. And they come out of the ground more or less without leaves. Their stalks come up with the buds already on them. And then the leaves can be either burgundies, they're green, dark green. I believe some are mottled looking. I have hellebore, but they're not in flower yet. And they're most older versions of the hellebore. The flowers, their heads are turned downward. That's the only thing I don't care for, is that you can't see the inside of the flower. You only see the top part. But there's new varieties out now that show they stand straight up. So these are kind of the red ones that you see more often than the others. So typically, if you get hellebores in, say, fancy combinations, they do seed, but unfortunately the seed isn't true to the plant. So you will get different colors if it seeds. So you have to divide these if you want to keep that color, because you get a huge range of different combinations of color. So I'm going to be doing the red ones in this one. Hi, Devin. And I think I'm going to take my eraser and I'm just going to lightly go over my marks here just to make them a little bit less noticeable. Thanks, Devin. I see they're back again. I guess they took the holiday off. So I'm just going to use my eraser, and I'm just, this was a, I think it's Sorel tracing paper, so you can actually erase it fairly well. I pressed kind of hard with this one, so it's not going to be totally erased, but if you do it lightly, you could erase areas that you don't want. So I just want to lighten the areas just a little bit so it's not so in your face. So this way if I want, I can just have the paint, or if I don't like just the paint, then I could actually use the lines for inking. There. So it's just enough. I don't know if you can see that. And I'll get another towel. So I know Janet loves illuminated letters. Anyone else interested in that? I love the look of illuminated letters. And they're usually very, well, the old ones are very intricate looking, but I thought we could start simple. Maybe work our way to the harder ones as the year goes on. But I thought it'd be kind of nice to put those in every month. Kind of separates the month then. So these are going to be the reddish pinkish color, and then I'm going to do the gold letter. So like all stuff, I start off light, so I'm going to use Quin Magenta by Winsor & Newton to start. It's a beautiful color. And I'm probably going to use gouache for the center. So I'm not going to be fiddling around. I don't have any masking fluid. I think the last masking fluid I had went bad. I don't use it enough, and it will go bad if you don't use it. So we're going to do this light and then maybe some purple in it. So this is very, very strong color, and I'm just gonna do wet into dry for the first application. Now I won't go right into the center. Maybe I'll try and save some of it. There is a darker area, and I can also use a pen or a fine brush to make those lines in the center. But I'm not too worried about it. And this isn't the same drawing, if you're wondering. It's another drawing. The one that I had was actual more of a lemony yellow colored ones, and I wanted to do the darker ones. I just thought it would stand up against the, I put a little bit in the center here. It would stand up more with the gold color that I put on. So you can do yours whatever color you want. This is a bud right here. And there's a leaf there, and this is the side view of one of them. And that's it for that. Why is my masking fluid smell fun? That's because it's going bad, Devin. That's what happens, is it goes bad. You could test it out on a separate piece of paper. So put some on it and then see if you can rub it off. Because once it starts to go bad, you can't rub them off. So don't put it on a drawing right yet. Test it first. Now I'm going to do my leaves green, but I want a nice dark green. So I'm going to take I think the Daniel Smith Apatite Green. I really love that color. It gives a little bit of a brown separation. It granulates, but it's great for leaves. Kind of mimics the speckles in leaves sometimes. So the leaves will be this nice green shade. And I think I will take a little bit of permanent, should I do maybe leaf green with it? Just every so often I want to put a little bit of that leaf green on tips and stuff, so I'm going to add a little bit of that to this mixture too. There, hope you guys can see. So just to give it a little bit variety with the leaf. Usually it's got a little bit of green, it's lighter green in the very base of the leaf. So you could put that in if you want. Sometimes you'll see it on the ends too. Now, depending on what paper you're using, you could also remove some of it if you wanted to. Giving it highlight, we'll see if I can remove this on this paper. So I was quite surprised on that it doesn't instantly go into the paper. It sits on top for a bit, and that's odd for a sketchbook paper, but great for watercolor. And I believe these books were $10 each, the one I'm working on. And then the other ones, you got a pack of 4, and it was a little cheaper doing it that way because they were, I believe, $63 for 4. And there's quite a few pages. There's 240 pages in each one. So that's a pretty good price. I went a little close to that. See how it's acting like watercolor paper, which is great. And this one here, I think I'm going to make a little bit lighter because it's in the background. So if it bleeds into that one, it's okay. And this is just the first coat. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. Now that was UK, or not UK, US Amazon. I had to order it from the US. Couldn't find them here. They were all sold out. Now they may have restocked them, I don't know. It's been a while since I ordered it. So you'll have to check that out. But like I said, they were in last Tuesday's watercolor stream. I put a link in the description. Okay, there's one there. The stems of these are usually, depending on the color of the flower, kind of a pinky red or dark green. Some are light green. Depends on the, you could do either. No one's gonna give you heck because it's the wrong color. It's just yours, so do what you want. The colors are so vast with this plant. It's interesting. A little bit of leaf here. And here. I'll make this one a little bit darker because it's behind. And maybe this one right in here. So you just play with it. See what you can. I really like the paper of this new one. It's awesome. Okay, I'm going to dry this. Thanks, Devin. And it really picks up the granulation of the watercolor too, which is good. Doesn't soak through. I'll show you in a minute. That's okay. Just copy the name of it, and then they can go and look for it. So that the other one didn't have a name on my book. If you would, please. Okay. See how it granulates? Isn't that gorgeous? So this paper is really awesome. Like, wow. Yeah, it buckles a little bit, but I don't mind that in sketchbooks. Now I'm going to do the stems of this one kind of like this. So it's a really dark kind of a dark brown sienna color. I'm just going to take some of this brown and some of this magenta. Thanks, Devin. A little bit of brown again, just to darken it up. And then this can be on fairly thick. And it's there. And here. Now I'm going to take a watered down of this, and I'm just going to add a little bit in the stems, just a little bit connecting. Sometimes you'll see that in the stems. I'm just using the very tip of my brush. Might be a little bit darker just underneath the flower. So you can just add a little bit more. I think that needs to be there. And this one, stem goes through. All right. Now I'm going to take some more of that magenta. It's Quin Magenta. And I'm going to add a little bit of dioxazine purple. Just a smidge. I'm going to put over here. So I want to darken it a little bit. I guess I could use a little more. And I'm going to use this for some of the shadow of the flower. It gets almost into a burgundy, actually. Could probably put a little green in there to green it down. That's better. Or not green it down, but take that brightness off. You just add your opposite color. So it's more of a plum shade now. And this color will be more or less in the center. I'm going to put wet into wet with this because I want it to mix. I'm not going to make the whole thing wet, but parts of it. And then you just touch. Where you put your water. Have a little bit in there. When you do this, it's best to let it dry. Don't try and sop up any excess, because that's the pigment that you're sopping up, and you want to keep as much of the pigment on there for your shadows. Okay. Just add a bit more. Okay, here's one. Take some clean water. And, it's fairly dark in the center, but it's a different color. So I'm going to put, let's see, a little bit more water around here in the center. And wherever there's a leaf overlapping, you'll have a little bit of shadow in there. And it'll only go where you put that water. Now there are some that have stripes on them or dots. You see a lot that have dots. You can put those in later. Let's do this part. Just get that shadowed area in first. More purple. And some more Quin. Green. And the bud has a little bit of that color coming up. It hasn't opened yet, so it's more streaky looking. And this one here, let's just put a bit of the color in there and on the bottom. This one's kind of tilted to the side. And just flicking. A little darker in there, in the center. Underneath maybe, just a bit more. I'm going to add a little bit more of the dark around the center. Same with this. This is still wet. I'm surprised how long it's staying wet. actually. That's good for me. Okay, while that's drying, let's fix up some of these plants. And I'm gonna, let's see, let's get that purple out of there. Some more of that Daniel Smith Green Apatite. Genuine, I think it is. Let's put some more of that in there. And I'm gonna put a little bit of Payne's praline green in too, just to darken it. Just a smidge. And now I'm going to put some shadows in. So the shadows be around any leaves that cross over. And again, I just dab. Let it. Then you can take your brush and just help it along. Like that. And around that part of the J, you could have that as shadow too if you want. So this is great. I'm still able to play with this instead of having it seep into the paper quick. So that's nice. Don't normally get that. This can be darker back here. I missed a little piece of leaf back there. I'm going to put this one in. I kind of avoided that area because it was still wet. Let's put some of the dark one in because it's shadowed by the flower. Maybe a little bit of shadow in there. Here. Like that. And right here by the J part. So pretty dark. All right. Okay, I'm going to give that a dry, and then I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in there. All right. Now, I can take, to blend this all together, let's put this yellow in first, though, the stamens. So this is Windsor Yellow. I'm just going to put a few of these in. And I probably will go in with some gouache also. Add a few more. I'm going to put a wash of this color over top of this now. I want this a little bit darker, but a wash will just make everything go into a darker shade. But you'll still see your different layers underneath by just putting a wash on. So don't be scared to do that. If you find it's too light, or now you can't change it and make it lighter. Sometimes it's nice just to darken things up a little bit more if it's too bland looking. There. Thanks, Devin. Now I'm going to make a little bit more details on this leaf here. So I'm going to put a little bit of veining in. Now you can use whatever you want. If you don't want to put veins in with a brush, use a pencil crayon or colored pencil or marker. I just wanted a little bit more. And I think I'm going to darken that around there a little bit more. You always want a fair amount of contrast as far as your values are. You don't want it just all the same value, because then it doesn't stand out. It kind of looks blah. All right, now let's put some gold in. I'm going to test some first. Let's see. I got a piece of watercolor paper here. And we'll see what gold to use. So let's spray those. And then I'm going to tap out a little bit of this and put it on my palette. This has a binder in it already. Just going to a little bit of water in there. Don't need a lot. Very, very gold looking to me. It doesn't look bronze to me. It looks like a gorgeous gold. And the nice thing, it's got its binder in it already. There we go. A bit more. All right. brush. Fairly yeah, this is very, let's put a line through it so I can see how pigmented it is. This is the Schminky. It depends on how thick you make it, but it's pretty. This is nice too. Jilly got me these a while back. I can't remember what they are now. Let's see if they have a name on the bottom. Not quite as, which one was that? Not quite as opaque as the Schminky, but they are nice. Stuff you have and you don't use because you put them away. So I don't know if you can see the shine. Let's dry them first, see what they do. Thanks, Joan. Okay, to me it looks, the Schminky kind of has a little bit of pink in it. I don't know if you can see that, how they shine. Very shiny. So which one do you like? These two here is the Schminky, and these are the, let's see what, there's no name on them, and it's in Chinese. Dead Center. So, 1, 2, 3, this one. Hey, back. That one? The dark old gold looks. So this one, the old gold. Okay. So that one is, let's see, this one here. So that's the one we'll do. So, what brush do I want to use? I think I'll use a number 4 silver. black velvet. And let's do it. Holding my breath. Now, with illuminated letters, you can also make a design on top of this gold after with other colors if you wanted to, or pen work. Make sure it's good and round. There's little areas where it's peeking through. Get those. This here. Right there. You could make these for a wedding gift too, would be pretty. The letter, illuminated letters for a wedding gift, and then you just put a, well, if the bride takes the groom's last name, I guess. And then you just do the date. Just take your time. Can't look at chat. Just let me get this part done. Let's see. Or you could take a pen and make lines on parts of it too. Just outline it. Sometimes that looks nice. These are nice. They're just opaque enough. Now I haven't used Kramer ones. Well, I think these are Kramer, the ones that Zandra made me, but the gold one that CC, Creations by CC uses, I've never had that one. Here in Canada it's hard to get that, Kramer. But this works, I think, probably just as good. And there is one that's probably very similar to the Kramer color, if you like a lighter gold. So I don't normally use a lot of shimmery watercolor myself, other than, you know, the wings of fairies and stuff like that, but this is awesome to use on this type of thing. So definitely going to make some more of these. Making sure I got it all. And like that. Okay, let's give that a try. Yep, the letter J. Alright, so there's it so far. So nice and sparkly. Now I'm going to take a little bit of gouache. Hope I didn't put it away somewhere. There it is. And I'm going to mix a little bit of yellow to that. So I'm going to put a little on my palette here. Let's clean this off a bit. Gotta make sure it's clean. You're using white. Make sure your brush is good and clean. Don't need a lot, so just one little dab will do you. And a little bit of yellow mixing with that. They're fairly light colored. So Now I can just go in here and put, I'm going to get a finer brush. A bit more, I think. And you can play with gouache. Like so. Right, and then I'm going to add a little bit more yellow because I want to make some little stamen heads on. Some more of a brighter yellow. Let's see if this is bright enough. It's not too bad. And let's try it. Hey Lisa, good to see you. Alright. Now, I think it needs some pen work. So this is a 303. And I'm just gonna, it's probably not gonna like the gouache as much, but let's see what we can do. Make it a little darker on the inside. Some lines. And then just outline some of the areas. Not all of it, but more or less where the shadows would be. So down the side of the stem. And it's not a heavy line. This is 0.03. It's a micron. And some of these areas where they kind of overlap, you could put those into. There's some areas where kind of want it around where the gold is though, just so that it stands out a little bit. maybe a few lines coming from, they do have some lines on their petals, so you can put some of those closer to the center, spraying out. Sometimes you'll see dots on them. They come in a lot of different patterns on their flower petals. So there's no real wrong way of doing them. Just play. A few more in there. I might put a little bit more of a brighter color on those stamens. I think they need it. Right in here. Around this particular one, because it's basically all on the gold part. I think it needs to be outlined just to stand out a little bit. Yeah. And some of these. Let's see. This one. Oh, that's what I did. Hey, that kind of looked funny. I couldn't figure out what was I did wrong. I didn't fill in a part of the leaf. Right in here. There. And maybe this one here. Let's see. Think, and I'm going to do the J. I think the J needs to be outlined. So with a steady hand, and holding your breath. Draw in the edges of this. I hope Janet isn't watching. She's probably screaming. Get the darn ruler out. I did get the ruler out when I drew it. Is that dry enough? Yeah. Does not like the paint. So you have to keep marking to get some of the glitter out of the nib. And the top. One more. Actually, let's see. Do I have a small ruler? And I can touch that up, I think. There. I can breathe now. Hey, Teresa. Janice. Trish. Good to see you. Let's use, I think I'm going to use a little bit of Posca white. If I can find it. There it is. I'm just going to dot the tops of some of these. And this way I can put a little bit of bright yellow on top when it's dry, so it's more noticeable. Or I could go with Posca too. Try that. I think I'm going to put some of these leaves with a bit of line work too. I think they need it. This one didn't get any at all. and down below here. Let's see. I think it needs a little bit of detail in these sections. Maybe serrated. They do have a little bit of a serrated edge on their leaf. Yeah, I think that looks better. You just have to play with it. Remember, it's just your sketchbook, journal. These are all practice. It's not like it's going to be published or anything. So this is when you can play with your work to see what you can do. It's a study. I think it was Mary I saw. She's starting to do some studies. I thought that was great. It doesn't have to be like a complete line either. Play with line work. Look at some I don't know if you call it urban sketching, but botanical sketching, and see what kind of line work they use. You'd be surprised. You don't have to put a lot in. Put as much as you want. It's your creation, so do what's pleasing to you. I think I need more darkness in there. I'm going to put a little more line work. That would show there. I think that needs to be shown. Alright, now let's put some bright yellow. Actually, I have these too. Don't forget your clean brush, mark, whatever they're called. A Zig Clean Color Real Brush. So now I can just go over top of this white and color it. So it pops now. Here. Sparkly. I like it. Now you could put another coat of the gold on if you think it's splotchy at all. This isn't too bad. I'll probably just leave it. But I do want to put January here. And what I'm thinking, let's see, I cut one out and now I don't know where I put it. Yeah, that's me. Okay, let's cut out another one then. Go to your old calendars. This is one I got last year. The sketchy chicks. They're actually really funny. And then just cut out a either January there, or if you have stamps, you could do that. You could write it. Let's see. Do I want they all the same? Gotta go. Thanks, Beck. Thanks for popping in. Now I could just leave January and put it right here. Like that. I think I might do. And I'm just gonna take glue stick and put it on. So these sketchbooks that I do are kind of mixed media, I guess you could say. Let's see if that's straight. I'm trying to keep this particular one basically all watercolor. Now, I do have some splotches, so maybe I need to do a few more splotches just to disguise that. That's what I do. So a really watery mix so it's not. And then just splotch. Maybe even some blue. Let's